Alright, so moving on to our next Patreon request, and this one comes from Brittany Digger, who asked me to do a pretty unique DC Owl House crossover. As you can see, we're using a member of the Bat family, Azreal, for this crossover. As always, though, if you guys would like to have a Patreon request done, just hit the link in the description box below, hit the third tier, that'll allow you access to do so. But other than that, let's get started with the video. So the story basically begins with Hunter, who was... let's actually back up a bit. Continuity's sake, this is somewhere in season 3, in the 3-part specials, like those months in between where Luz and her friends were on Earth. So that's where we are. So Hunter is out getting... he's taken on a special task of getting groceries and has returned home. However, something is very wrong. Like at first, it looks like everything's calm and normal, but him and Flapjack are like, "Nah, something's up." So Hunter sneaks in through the back door. He sees the windows were slightly ajar, and he's like, "Someone came in through the back window." And if they I know it's summer and it's hot, but Camila doesn't when she turns on the air conditioning, it's when all the if it's an over 80-degree day, and it's not. So someone snuck in and didn't. Someone he's got it down meticulously, and he's noting all the things that are just wrong. And sure enough, the house is empty. He's looking around, and that's when out of the shadows, this massive figure comes flying at him, and it's Azreal. So Azreal and Hunter fight, and Hunter's I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if he's a member, he works for Bella, if he works for the Emperor's Coven or something like that. But this dude is he's got training. I don't know how he's able to move, but I've got moves too. So as Hunter's teleporting, Azrael's I wasn't expecting someone of your caliber able to teleport. But you want to know the thing about teleporters? And he just whirls around just as Hunter's about to attack him, grabs him by the neck and goes, "They're predictable." So Hunter is in Azrael's grip, and as he's drawing his sword, and the sword ignites, he's like, "Why are you doing this?" And he's like, "I'm going to end the I don't know what the cult of Saint Dumas, the Order of Saint Dumas, how they created you, but I am going to get my answer." He's like, "Order of Saint Dumas? What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Don't lie to me. You are a face that I have seen in the scriptures." And Hunter's like, "I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what the Order of Saint Dumas is. Why did you kidnap my family?" And Azrael's like, "I didn't do that. I found the house empty." Puts him down. He puts the kid down. He's he points the sword in his face and goes, "You're gonna tell me what's going on." And he's like, "You tell me first. Why are you here?" So Azrael basically says, "I am Azrael, but my real name is Jean-Paul Valley. I was a member of the Order of Saint Dumas. I was an assassin for the Order of Saint Dumas. I had been lied to by that organization, and I came here to this town because I heard reports of the Order operating here in this city, in this town. And then I see your face." And Hunter's like, "Okay, why is that such a problem? Why is my appearance so, off-putting? Why does that anger you so much?" And he's like, "You don't know, do you? You don't know why that is." So Azrael explains that, "Look, it may come as a shock to you, but you look very familiar to a original member of the Order of Saint Dumas." So basically, Jean-Paul basically talks to him and is like, "Hey, so during my time with the Order, there were other, they talked about the history of the Order of Saint Dumas, and basically you look exactly like one of these guys who was a quote-unquote unofficial member, that being this man named, he was a witch hunter." And he goes, "Bellows." And he's like, "Yeah, I assumed you, the Order of Saint Dumas had done clones before, and I assumed that's what you were. I thought you were a clone." And clearly, and he's like, I think I am, but I don't know but I was created by Bellows, and it's a long story, but if you weren't behind my, the kidnapping of my family, then maybe it was the Order who did this." And Bellows is like, not Bellows, Azrael's like, then perhaps you and I should work together and find out what's going on. So from there, Hunter and Azreal unite in order to find what happened to Luz and the others. So the first things first is that Azrael's like, look, I have a friend in a Gotham City, and he taught me to look for clues. And he's like, sounds like a good man. He's like, better man than I'll ever be. So Jean-Paul and Hunter proceed to like look around the building for any sign of clues or whatever, and they do find like Hunter observes that there's like a piece of fabric that came off. That so a lot of the members of the family look like they got taken before they knew what was going on. Camilla looked like she was the first. She was in the kitchen. She got yanked. Then Gus was the second. Amity looked, judging by there's bits and pieces of abomination slime, it looks like Amity did get discovered and she put up a fight. Luz was the one, because they look in the back, they look in a part of the yard and see like scorch and ice marks, and it's like, looks like Luz was the one who didn't go down without a fight, you know. Luz and Willow were the last two to be taken, and it looked like those two, they managed to put up the most fight because there's like branches and trees and burn marks, but they did get overwhelmed, and it does lead to the question of like, who did this? And again, Azrael like finds bits of fabric and whatever, and he's like, yeah, this is definitely fabric and pieces of body armor that are used by the Order. So Azrael brings Hunter to his little makeshift lab that he's set up, and he's like, again, I learned some things from, you know, a friend of mine. So he's like analyzing it, and he's like, and Jean-Paul asks, like, so you said you're kind of a clone. What are you then? And he goes, and Hunter's like, honestly, I don't know what I am. All I know is I'm not the thing they made me to be. And Jean-Paul's like, I agree. So basically, he just like analyzing dirt and what have you. Jean-Paul discovers that these guys are hiding out somewhere in like a local church, judging by the soil samples and the bits of granite in the soles of these boot marks, as well as bits of fabric. That's where we're gonna go. So Hunter and Jean-Paul travel there, and they find in this church, and they do discover that this church was created by the Order of Saint Dumas, because in the stained glass windows there is a image of Saint Dumas there. So the inside, yes, Luz and the rest of the family have been taken by the Order, and Luz is like demanding, you know, why did you do this to us? Why did you take us? And they're like, you know, we're here to honor a long members pact. Like basically, we you like this guy, this being a friend of ours. He went by the name Belos, and he was a friend to our Order, and we made a pact. Basically, if we found any witches, we would hunt them down and exterminate them in his name. And it's like, cool, you're just racist, awesome. And that's when they're like, now tell us, was there any other witches in that house? And they're like, no, but we wouldn't tell you if there were. But that's when they're like, as they're like trying to go to fight out of them, Hunter and Azrael are like skulking through the shadows, taking out Order members left and right. And that's when like Willow's like, you know, we did kind of lie. There's one left. And that's when Azrael and Hunter burst through the stained glass image of Saint Dumas and proceed to just wreck house on every living thing they see. They just, whenever they see whatever cult member they encounter, they just beat the shit out of. And during the events of it, like Azrael's in the middle of just beating down these members, and like, and they're and the Order's like freaking out because they're like, it's the fallen sun, and Azrael's like, yes, I've come back and I'm here to deliver real justice on this so-called Order. So as Azrael's tearing ass through them, Hunter's saving everyone else. And by the end of it, the Order is just either the ones who manage to get away, at the ones who are left behind. Azrael just proceeds to murder right in front of them all, and he's like, "I'm sorry you had to see that, but this is how I operate." And they're like, "No, they were fascists. It's cool. Trust me, we know a thing about killing fascists." And Azrael's like, "I'm sorry. I accused you of something, and you are right, Hunter. You are more than what they made you, and so am I." And he's like, "So where are you gonna go now, Jean-Paul?" And he goes, I'm still going to hunt down members of the Order. But but it's nice to know I'm not alone out there. So they shake hands, and Azreal leaves, and they're like, and everyone else is like, who the fuck was that guy? And he's like, and Hunter's just like, it's a long story. So there you go, guys. That is the Owl House Azreal crossover. Once again, I'd like to thank Brittany Digger for this Patreon request, and you guys tell me in the comments below, what did you guys think of it? Comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse, and I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.